Hello people! Today, going to be a bit of a different video. As of 2 days ago, I actually turned 20. Yeah, so today I'm going to do a 20 things I learnt in 20 years video. Some of them might be a bit deep, some of them might be a bit funny, you know, just genuine stuff. So the first thing, I'm starting off really deep here, first thing I learned is you always get lipstick on your teeth. And no, the first thing I learned is life doesn't get easier, because I used to think when I was younger that it just gets easier because you don't have to worry about parents, you don't have to worry about siblings. Like, I used to think that it would just get easier because you can do what you want to do. Like, that was like a 10-year-old Sacha's thoughts. But it doesn't work out like that at all. Actually, it probably gets harder. The second thing that I learned is something that I've learnt quite recently, is that college or university just might not have been worth it. You could have spent 4 years in education, college and university, and then it not being worth it at all. So you feel like you wasted 4 years of your life, which you haven't wasted 4 years of your life, because at the time of you picking those courses, that's what you wanted. So therefore you haven't wasted it, but you're just not going to use it in your future. The third thing that I learned a long time ago in my teenage years, is if you make a bad decision, you have to face the consequences, even if you learnt your lesson. So if you make a bad decision and you learnt your lesson from it, you know not to do it again, you still have to live with the consequences. You may have heard of the quote, "You've made your bed, so now lie in it." That is so true, because whether you make a good decision or a bad decision, you have to live with the consequences, and that's just something that everybody has to do. The fourth thing that I learnt quite recently as well. I learnt most things when I was 18 and 19, to be honest. The fourth thing that I learnt is to just stop comparing yourself with other people, because they are them and you are you. So they can't be you and you can't be them, because that's just not going to work. So just stop comparing yourself, stop comparing how you look, stop comparing how you talk, just stop comparing lives, stop comparing anything to anybody else, because it saves you a lot of thought space, it saves you a lot of worry, and also it saves you a lot of putting yourself down a lot, because that's usually how it goes. You usually compare the good things that other people have to the bad things that you have. That's usually how it goes. You never compare the other way around. Just stop focusing on negative things and just focus on the positive things. And don't compare your life to other people's, because they've got their own problems, they just might not be showing it. So you don't know about it, so you think their life's all perfect, when really it isn't. So that's another thing I learned, to stop comparing myself to other people. Fifth thing that I learned is that it's okay to try new things, even if that thing might not be something that someone who's like you would do. Right, I'll explain this. When I learnt this, I was about 16, 17, and I was first going into college, and I wanted to do software development, believe it or not. Yes, I did. On the first 2-3 weeks of the course, when you're first getting to know people and settling down, a lot of people asked me why I decided to do that, and they worded it in a way of, why did you do IT rather than beauty or hairdressing? And I understood where they were coming from, because to look at me, you wouldn't think that I work in computers and technology and networking and things like that. You would think that I pull wax strips off people's legs, but I don't, and that's just the way it is. So even if it's something that somebody who looks like you or acts like you, it's not something they'd necessarily do, just do it, because if you want to do it, then you want to do it. And I learnt that when I first went to college, and I also learnt how judgmental people really are. So just don't be scared to try new things at all. Number 6, even when you grow up, peer pressure doesn't go away. It doesn't. You still feel pressured to do things because somebody else is doing that, or because you feel like you need to please somebody else, so you have to do this. That never goes. I thought that was going to go when I was older, but it doesn't. I thought, when I'm 18, I won't feel peer pressure anymore. Yes, you will. And you will probably feel it a lot more, to be honest. So that's another thing I learned. Peer pressure doesn't go. I'm sorry to break that information to you now. Number 7, you won't have as many friends when you are older as you do now, if you are younger, of course. The people you spend, this is really hard to explain, but the people you spend your time at school with, they're all good people and you love them while you're there, you really do. But you all grow up and you all take different paths in life. Some might do other things to what you did, and you just grow apart. That's just the way it is. And you lose touch, and then they're no longer a friend anymore because you don't talk, and obviously friends do speak. When you're older, you won't have as many friends as you do now, and that just happens with everybody. Some people, though, do stick in touch with their school friends, and they are lifelong friends. And once you find a lifelong friend, you will know it. You will know. But most of the time, that doesn't happen, and you just grow apart. Number 8 is you won't have everything figured out. Never. Because I used to think when I was just leaving school and entering into college, by the time I'm 20, I'll have everything figured out and everything will be sorted. Well, it's not. It really isn't. So that's another thing that I had to sort of learn, is that you won't have everything figured out. I don't think at any point in your life you'll ever have everything figured out, because you're always learning every day. Number 9 is you'll have to work twice as hard as you thought you would to get what you want. You know, so you think, I want to do this, that and the other, and it will take me this amount of time, or it'll take me this amount of energy. But trust me, it will take double that, because it just does. Everything takes double the amount of time or energy that you thought when you were 15 or 16. But one thing I will add is everything that you do want and everything that you want to work for, if you put the work in, you will get it, and it is possible. So that's another thing that I've also learned. Everything is possible if you put the time and the effort in. 10th thing, halfway, cutting out negative people is so worth it. It really is. If you cut out the negative people in your life who do nothing but put you down, criticise you, they just want information all the time, they spread it around to other people, and it usually gets twisted, because we've all played Chinese whispers. We've all played Chinese whispers. Cutting those people out of your life is a really hard task, especially if they're close, but it's worth it, because then there's no more drama, there's no more rumours as such. It's worth it, and I would suggest anybody to do that. Just cut negative people out of your life. Toxic people is what I read. Toxic people out of your life. Number 11, time goes faster when you're older. That is fact. Just enjoy your life while you've got it, because you'll only be this age for 365 days, which isn't a long time when you think about it. Number 12 sort of goes along with... Why am I doing... Number 12. Okay, number 12 goes along with number 8. Sometimes you will just have to wing things, and it will either come out with a bad product or a good product, but sometimes you'll just have to wing it, because we're not all experts at everything, and we have to take a chance sometimes and wing things. Number 13 is... Look, I'm doing it again. Right. Number 13 is you can control the way that you feel by wiring your brain up properly. You can control the way that you feel by your thought process and the way that you think about things and view things and what you spend your time thinking about. So if you spend your time thinking about other people, conversations you've had, situations you've been in that you haven't really wanted to be in, and other things like that, or things that have happened in your past, then you are gonna have bad feelings. But if you start thinking about your future, your ideas that you have, creativeness, and the way that you want your life to go, and how you're going to do it, and how long it's going to take you to do it, and your plans for the future, then you're going to have good feelings, because that is a positive thought process. That is a negative thought process. And we all have a choice, and you can choose which one you want. But I know which one I want, and I know which one I now have learnt to think about. So that's number 13. Number 14, I learnt when I was young. Acting like you're not bothered about something really doesn't work, because I used to sit there and... Oh, this is going to sound really weird, but I used to sit there and I used to look really miserable, and I used to fold my arms, and I used to slouch back, and I used to sit there like that wherever I was, whether it was a family get-together, whether it was school, or just anywhere. That's how I used to sit. And I used to act like I really wasn't bothered. I am not bothered about anything. You could tell me that the world was ending and I would just sit here like this and not be bothered. That's the image I used to put across. And I used to think that people used to take me seriously because I used to act like that. I used to think that people won't mess with me because I act like I'm not bothered. And that really doesn't work. It really doesn't work. I can't stress to you how much that doesn't work. But I used to think it, and I guess every teenager goes through that stage of thinking that acting like I'm not bothered is going to get me respect, but it's not. I assure you of that, and I am so glad I'm out of that phase now. 15, in contrast to that, as such, is be a bit fierce, you know. Don't let people take advantage of you, because if you do, that's all they'll ever do, and they'll come back for more. They will take advantage of you all the time. So have a little bit of, you know, don't act like you're not bothered, but just have that little bit of, this is my line, and no one's going to cross it, because that's my line, you know? It's my line, and I've put it there, and no one's stepping over that line. And anybody who does cross that line has the consequences of either not being in your life or getting shouted at. Yeah, don't shout at people though, but you know, yeah, you know, just no crossing that line. And also, don't ever move that line in order for somebody else to keep acting a certain way towards you, because that line's just going to get closer and closer to you, and then it's just going to break, and then there won't be a line, and then they'll take advantage of you. So yes, don't move the line for anybody, and don't let anybody put a toe over that line, right? 17, you're always learning. Always learning. I thought that as soon as I leave school, and then as soon as I leave college, I'll know everything that I need to know. Like, I won't know about tectonic plates and earthquakes and stuff like that I was learning in high school, but I will know everything that I need to know for life. Not true. You're just always learning. Always learning. 18. No. Is this 16 or 17? Oh, I've lost count. I was doing so well as well. This is 17. This is 17. Okay. Sleep is actually important, and I learnt that when I was about 13 or 14. Sleep is important. Like, when I was a child, I used to wake up at the crack of dawn and run around and not want to go to bed at night either. But now it's a totally different story. Like, now I am the first person in bed in my household, and I am the last person up. Like, that's just the way it is. I spend about 10 hours in bed, to be honest. Not always sleeping, of course, because I do sit on my phone and that in bed. So, you know, not always sleeping, but I just, sleep is so important. 18 is spots don't just disappear. Because people say, you're a teenager, you'll get spots, you know. Yeah, I'm a teenager, I'm allowed to have spots because I'm a teenager. Well, guess what? When you're 20, you still get spots. You don't get this magical thing, this magical serum that you get when you're 20 and only 20-year-olds know about it, and you rub it all over your face and then all your spots are gone. Like, that doesn't happen. It's lifestyle that affects spots. Mine is the amount of chocolate that I've been eating recently. 19. Your eyeliner still goes wrong. Yep. Yep, I said it. Your eyeliner still goes wrong. When you're 20, you get visited by the magical eyeliner fairy, and she teaches you how to do eyeliner properly. And then it never messes up. And she just sprinkles some magical eyeliner powder over you, and then it goes right ever from that day. Well, you know what? I haven't had no visit. So either she's missed me or she doesn't exist. So that's another thing, because I used to think when you're 20, you'll get used to your eyeliner and it'll always go right. Well, no. If anything, it gets worse. If it's in mine, it's like this. So yeah. And number 20, you know I always save the best till last. Don't be afraid to have a bit of fun. I used to think that once you're classed as an adult, you have to act like an adult, and you have to be boring, and you have to sit there and watch all the other kids who are under a certain age have fun. Well, you know what? Nah. Still have a bit of fun. You know, obviously you have to have the balance, because if you're always having fun, then it's classed as immaturity. But if you can portray yourself in such a way that you can see that you're serious, but you can still have that bit of fun in you, then just do it, because I'm still getting on the fair rides. I'm still eating candy floss, eating chocolate, being jealous of all the kids having ice creams out the ice cream van and I'm not allowed one. Yeah, I'm still there. So just don't be afraid to have a bit of fun, and you have to have balance. Balance, that's a good word. Not too much boringness, not too much funningness, and then you get the balance right, and then we're all good. We're all good. So yeah. That's 20 things I learned in 20 years. It took me 20 years to learn all those things, and a lot of them were caused by past experiences, but there you go. That's just the way it is. That's it for this video. I'm glad I got that off my chest. Yeah. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe for more videos from me, and I will see you next week.